Hello everyone, my name is Shady Guy Folly, and I'm a part of the Victoh Trainer Academy podcast. Our podcast is about educating people on Pokemon, whether bringing them new to the franchise or renewing their old love. Now, our Pokemon podcast is basically about a lot of things. It's not just about the actual game series, but also about the DVD slash anime series. Also, on top of that, we talk about a few other topics, including some controversial stuff. Now, our podcast can be found at Podomatic, or you can find us on Facebook at Victoh Trainer Academy, as you can see here. Basically, what this tutorial is basically going to be teaching you is how to change the sprite in a ROM. Now, if you're not familiar with ROMs or sprites, a sprite is a character that walks around in the game for you. So when you've actually got a Pokemon game, when your character just walks around. Basically, we're going to change the look of that sprite so you can actually, walk around as you, instead of actually as the main character in the normal game, which would be Ash or Red or Blue, either one. Now, ROMs are not legal. They're not legal ways of playing Pokemon, guys. And look, it's not recommend. It's actually recommended that you actually buy the game, and actually pay for the actual products that Nintendo have brought out. Now, the only reason I'm actually making this video is to show people how to customize the sprite to look like themselves. This is more of a personalization than anything else, not something that I recommend you do all the time. Now, as you can see, on the screen here, I'm actually capturing it and doing audio over the top of it. You'll need a couple of programs for this. You'll need three. You need WinRAR if you've actually downloaded the programs through zip files, which a lot of programs do come through, in which case you'll need to extract the actual file there. By doing so, once you've installed WinRAR, by extracting here, it'll automatically, I've already put it in there, so it'll say that. It'll extract the file. Now, if you don't know about this, look at WinRAR on Google and you'll be able to find anything about that. Now, once you've actually got Overworld Editor, as you can see here, this is Overworld Editor. This is the program that we'll mainly be using to hack the ROM. Another thing you'll need is the actual ROM itself, which we have a version of Fire Red here. You can do it with other ROMs if you want to. Mostly they actually have to be a GBA file, so Game Boy Advance file. If you want to actually hack something else that's not GBA, then you probably need different programming for that, especially if it's a DS game. Aside from that, look, I'm just using Fire version Red. You don't have to use Fire version Red. You can use Leaf Green if you want to, but I like Fire Red, so I went with this, so don't complain. What we're going to do first, we're going to go into Overworld Editor and we're going to open the actual GBA file. So I'm into there, as you can see, removable disk Nate, uploading the actual Fire Red editor, and as you can see on the main screen, we've got the main character, which will be used for everything. Now, you've got a few different things. As you can see, you can actually change the way he looks by going through the frames, so which different ways he's facing. Now, there'll be a certain amount of them that we actually will change, and that'll be the easiest way of doing it. As you can see here, they're all the different frames in which that character looks and he'll move around in. So that's left, right, walking up and down. There'll be about 7 to 8 frames of them, depending on how many stances he's got. Now, if we go through the index, which is right here, as you can see, we can click through and then we can change the actual character itself. So what they look like. These are all the other characters that are in the game, and these are all the other uploads that you can alter. The easiest way of actually working this out is finding out which character looks most similar to you, or most similar to the character that you want to create, I suppose. Now, we went with a very similar character to that with mine, but I'll pick something just obscure, just for funsies. Which one's this? The 57 is the one I went last time, so that's probably the easiest way of doing it. So we want to go there. Actually, no, we want 56. So as you can see, this guy right here is who we emulated last time. Now, what you want to do, because that's the first person, and that's the first frame, that's 56 person on the first frame. First frame is always 0. So what we want to do, we'll go scroll through the different frames, and this is what he looks like from side angle, back, front. This is the way he walks, or she walks, I can't really tell. And the last frame's right there, so it goes up to 9. So we'll go straight back to the start again. Now, the first step is what we want to do. We want to actually export the file itself onto another like onto an actual hard drive, because we want a backup copy in case we do need to edit it later. So what we want to do, we want to export. So I go File, Export Bitmap. Now I've already done this before, just to save myself some time, as you can see. So 560, and we've got that right there. So I'm just going to save it. You can just, what you have to do each one export individually. So once you've gone through the first one, click the next frame, export bitmap, and just keep doing each individual one. I know it's absolutely painful. I'm just going to do a couple here so you can actually get through the rhythm of it. And just the next one, export. Now once they're all exported out there, hallelujah, you finished all that. So they're all backed up. What you want to do, because he's 56 through the index, now he's not going to be the main character that's connected. So what we want to do, we want to exit Overworld Editor once we've got it all exported, and then jumps, and then straight back in again. What we want to do, we want to open the GBA ROM again. Ta-da! And we want to import those ones that we exported from before. So we go into import random guy number 1. Now this is actually the complex part, guys. As you can see here, we've got import palette, import image. We need to import the image. We can't do it without it. Import palette, on the other hand, is a little bit different. Now importing the palette makes the palette on these selection of colors change. If we import the palette, the selection of colors that's in there will be the only colors that we can use. So for the sake of this, I'm going to show you both ways. So if we import the palette, as you can see, all the colors change in the actual spectrum, and you get the same colors that are actually being used in the main picture. Now if we import him again, for example, so load, import, we don't press import palette and we save it, he just comes up normally, the same way as he did before, but we can actually change the palette. So if we want to, for example, change it to, well, we'll go change 4, there'll be a certain number, I think it's 21. So if we go change to 4, as you can see, he actually changed color once we click change, and the color spectrum changes as well. So if we go 6 this time, change, again, all the colors change. We go 16, change, or for example, 19, change, all the colors just went black because 19 is a bad one, obviously. Or we go 5. And you got some purples there as well, some yellows, some greens. So look, it all depends on what color you're going to be actually making the character. And then you can sort of work out from there exactly how much, what colors you need and what you need to customize them to. So we'll go back to the original thing because I really don't care about changing the color. I'm just doing this as a demo. So you can click around the screen here. You can only do it in certain sections, which is slightly frustrating. But what we'll do, we'll click his, and we'll change his hair to grey. So once you've clicked on the right section in this area, click onto the color that you want, and then just start coloring in here. It's very, very simple, guys. It's just color, pixelating colors. If you want to have a darker color around the outside, you certainly can, but it depends on what colors are in your palette. So we're just going to color his hair grey. As you can see, it's a tedious task. Now when you have to do this about 9 different times for different angles and everything like that, it becomes very tedious, and I did this 3 times, so this was not very fun. So once you've finished, of course, the coloring for the first page, you go Control S, or alternatively, you can go save. It's not letting me do it right now, so what I'm going to do, exit out of that. It's just being a pain is all, so it's just a glitchy crap going on. So what we're going to do, upload it again. As you can see, he's right there, so I'm just going to recolor his hair. It just likes being a bit hackish. So, the Overworld Editor, while I'm doing this, I at least might as well tell you a little bit of history about it. The Overworld Editor is actually created by a person called Hackmew. Now, he can be found on Poke Community. Very good program that's been created here. It does have flaws like every program, but from what I've used of it, it's a very simple, easy tool that people who aren't very good with hacking can use. Now, as you can see, I've colored his hair again. Save, or Control S, up to you. Now, this is just one. You would have to actually, once you've imported that character, done all the coloring, what you can do next is click the next frame, import, and import random guy, and we want to go the second guy. So as you can see, you can usually link them up what they look like, each guy. So you got that guy there facing the opposite way, and you got that guy facing the opposite way. Import palette, save. Now when you go back, the guy's still colored, and basically just color him import the next guy. Once you've actually clicked the frame, make sure you save it after each coloring. And now another thing is, when you do import, make sure you go to the next frame that hasn't actually been selected, because you don't want to overdo all the work that you've done. Now, once you've done all that, this is just a hypothetical scenario, guys. Control S the whole thing, or save the whole thing. Going save, Control S, etc. Exit out of that. Now, that's all the coloring done, guys. Once you've done all the coloring, actually, another thing I forgot to mention, sorry, my apologies, is if you open up, jump in there, we'll jump in here. If you want to give him extra hair on top of that, like for example, if you want to go up like that, give him sort of a horn, you can go outside the actual area that's already been used if you want to, but it's up to you. So I'm going to give him cat ears, just be a douche. Yeah, that's right. Work at Catwoman. Okay, as you can see, giving him or her, I don't know what it is, cat ears, and I'm just going to save that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to exit out of that. Well, once you've actually done that, you can jump into your visualboy. What we can do, we can open the GBA file. What we want to open is Fire Red GBA, which is the one we actually. Now it'll just save it automatically to the ROM. It'll just change the actual ROM, so which is pretty handy. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into here. Come on. I'm just speeding this up just for quickness, guys. You can pick boy or girl, it's really up to you. Just the thing's going to change anyway. Pick whatever name you feel comfortable with. Green, blah, blah, blah. Now, once you're in here, as you can see, when I'm facing the thing, he's got his cat ears. Now, when you actually change it every single direction, it'll look proper. But, that's what he looks like. Actually, that looks pretty cool. I want to do a tail next. As you can see, he's actually been changed. Now, this is one that I prepared earlier, you know, like but wait, this is what we prepared earlier, sort of segment, I suppose. Now, I'm going to go into Nate. Nate's a character that I created earlier for our Pokemon podcast. Jump into this, jump in, and we want to just, as you can see, go through all this again. I should have saved one, but I was just too lazy. Create all your characters, etc. Now, Nate, as you can see, has been changed completely. I've completely revamped the hair. I've changed the actual shirt, pants, as well as gloves, and I've also given him a nice little backpack, as you can see. And he looks like that from every single angle, which is pretty cool. So, look, this is a really easy thing to do, guys. Any questions whatsoever, you can certainly contact us, just at Victoh Trainer Academy. At hotmail.com, so capital V. Send us any emails you got, guys. Any questions, you certainly can. You can follow us on Facebook at Victoh Trainer Academy. Alternatively, what you can do as well, you can also check out our podcast, which is what I'd probably recommend anyway. We've got 4 podcasts up so far. Now, our first series is called Pokemon for Dummies, just a basic tutorial on Pokemon in the first series. So the original blue, red, and yellow. Sort of a walkthrough, I suppose. We are going to be transferring into a few different other things, like talking about the new Black and White 2. But this video right here is just to sort of get the ball rolling. We're going to upload a few more videos up in the next thing, in the next couple of weeks or month, and just see where it goes from there, guys. But look, if any questions whatsoever, it's a very easy way of hacking into your ROM, changing the character the way you like it. And then play through the game as you instead of someone else. I think it gives you a bit more of a personalization. Well, look, guys, that's probably the end of it. I'm probably waffling on a bit too much as it is, but I'm Shady Guy Folly. Check out our Victoh Trainer Academy and see what you think, and send us an email if you have any questions, queries, or compliments. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.